Great. So from last week, this is where we stopped. Did anyone try to replicate what we did? Because I shared the link to the Figma file, and this is the website we are trying to create. And from last week, we kind of stopped at somewhere, and I'm just going to do a little rundown of what we did last week, which obviously was this is where we are at. And so yeah, this is the structure for client first. You're going to have a page wrapper. You're going to have the main wrapper. You're going to have, after the main wrapper just wraps all your sections inside of it. So this is just the home page. So the section hero, I wonder why this is showing green. I think from last week I made it green so that, not green, maybe I don't know what color this is, so that we get to see everything that we are doing. I guess so. So yeah, that's what I did. So I'm just going to, I had to make this section. So let's just make it colorless without a color. All right. So we have the main wrapper and we have the hero section hero. This section hero is basically the hero section, which is, I'm trying to create this hero section without the nav. So I just want to create this part. I just want to create this part, all of this part with the background, with the, image background stuff. So now this is what we have. Now following, if you had gone through the video, you would see that we have this section hero and we have the padding global, which is, and this section hero is the height is 100 VH. So the height is everything from top to bottom. If you are a designer, you would know what 100 VH. VH means viewport height. So it takes 100 viewport height, which is when you load up your screen, when you load up a website, the first section you see, if it is a complete screen, that is 100 VH. So I'm just assuming that this hero section is 100 VH. So when you load up this website, everything you're seeing at first glance is 100 VH complete. So yeah, so that's why I set the hero section to 100 viewport height, because we have different sizes here. We have pixels, percentage, ems, rems. I'll mostly use rems throughout the course of this whole program because client first prioritizes rems. It doesn't mean pixel is bad or whatever. Sometimes I'll use rems, other times I'll use percentage. Depends on what I'm trying to achieve. So there is CH, which stands for character. There is VW, which is viewport width. There is VH, viewport height. There is SVW. I'm still struggling to know what this one means. Maybe standard viewport width, I guess. This one maybe standard viewport height. Then auto. Auto means the height or the width is going to be automatic based on the element that is inside. I hope it's not confusing. It is going to create its height based on the element. It's going to flow based on the element that is inside. So any element inside a div block, if you set it to auto, auto means there is no height. Whatever element you put inside is going to stretch. It will keep stretching based on the elements you put inside. If you put a very long paragraph, the div block is going to accommodate the long paragraph. That's just what it means by auto. I hope that is clear. And if you have any question at any point, please feel free to draw my attention and ask. Do not be, just ask regardless. So section hero, we have the padding global, we have the container large, we have the padding section large, which adds just 7 rem up and bottom. Now let us still refer back to our client first course structure. This is why I want everybody to just join immediately. Okay. Hello, Sir Michael. Good day. Good evening. All right. Let's just forge ahead. Michael, can you hear me? Okay. All right. Let's just forge ahead. So following our course strategy, course structure, which is this page wrapper, main wrapper, section header. They say section header, but I say section hero. So you can call it anything, but make sure you are as close, doing the right thing with client first. You can say section header, you can say section hero. Let's just be particular to what you are building. If you are building a benefit or a partner, for instance, partner's logo, partners logo section, you can say section partners logo. So whoever is looking at your structure will understand in simple term what you're talking about. So naming your div blocks, naming your elements is very important. So yeah, so they have section header, padding global. This is just the core structure. Once you get to padding section large, which is this part, now from now, you can now start creating it you can now start doing custom things. You can now start, creating that section to fit the design, but make sure you always get all of this straight, correct. Always, for every section you need to build, you have to go through this structure. It's not hard. Section hero, padding global, container large, boom, padding section large. Just have them. I have almost all the namings in my head, but it's not something that will happen to you immediately. It takes time. You can always refer back to the documentation. Now, after the padding section, now, if I open it, the next thing I want to call it is, because of right now, no more foundation, no more structure. Whatever you're going to add is based on you, based on your personal decision. This is where the course structure ends. I know I'm repeating this. The course structure ends here. So after here, whatever you're going to do would mainly be based on your personal decision. I now say, okay, right now, because of the design is like this, I want to put a div block and I want to call it hero component. That means I want to create a component that will handle every text and button. The parent that is going to handle this heading, all of this heading, and this paragraph and this button. Everything I want to call the parent hero component. You can say you want to call it hero content or hero wrapper, just whatever you want to choose to call it. And yeah, okay. Adekunle Ibrahim, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very fine. Thank you. Good day, sir.
Yeah, good day. All right, cool. So so I said I want to call it hero component. Adekunle, you have to mute your mic. It's having this noise. All right, hero component. And if I open the hero component, now this hero component is just an empty div block, no styling yet. Like there's no styling, as you can see. I haven't really styled it. I haven't really styled it. Now inside of the hero component, I still went a step further to create another div block and call it hero content. I am doing this just to play safe. It is my strategy. It's how I build, just to help me so that I can style. Creating all these numerous div blocks and putting stuff inside helps me be in control of styling. So after the hero content, I still create another one and I call it hero content. Inside of this hero content again, this is where inside of the hero content, not the hero component, inside of the hero content is when I now start putting heading, paragraph, button, wrapper. This button wrapper is also a div block that is going to handle this my button. Because we have two buttons here, you cannot just put the buttons side by side without putting it in a div block. So you have to bring in a div block, then inside the div block, you will now put in two buttons. That is why we have the heading, paragraph, buttons. As you can see here, heading, paragraph, a div block that will handle the buttons. Right now, I'm going to bring in an element, a button. So once I type BU, it brings out a button. Now we have our first button here. This button is where inside the button wrapper. Please always understand your navigation. What is inside of what? Always understand your navigation. This button is not just anywhere. It's not outside. If it's like this, it doesn't make sense. You want to make sure the button is inside your button wrapper so that when you close or when you collapse this, it hides the button, something like this. Now we have two buttons, right? So I'm just going to bring in another button. Now we have inside the button wrapper, we have two buttons. Mind you, I am just bringing in elements. I have not yet started styling anything. As you can see, it's just plain HTML elements. No styling, nothing. But in due time, we're going to make it look like this. We're going to make it look like this. Now, the first thing I want to do, I want to copy this. I want to copy, how this person built it. He made all of these components, all of these elements different. Budget friendly is different from renewable, is different from solar energy solutions. But in my own case, it's going to be one heading. So I just want to copy this. So I've copied it, Control C, or I might not even copy it because of the fact that they're all separate. I'll just come here and maybe, okay, let's just paste it. I paste it here and I go back to the Figma file and I copy renewable, go back to my WEBFLOW and I paste renewable, and I go back to my Figma file and I copy solar energy solutions. Because of how it was built on Figma, they are not, it's not a single element, it is different. That's why I'm copying it differently. So I'll come back here and I hit enter. Now look at what we have. Budget friendly renewable solar energy solutions. That is my H1 heading. That's my H1 heading. Now I'll go back to my design again and I'll copy build a healthy whatever, all of this paragraph. I copy it and I'll come back here and I'll paste it here. Build a healthy, all of that. Now I would come to my button. The button here says contact us. So I'll copy contact us and I'll come here on the first button. I want to paste that contact us. Contact us. And on the second button we have view project. We have view project, and I'm just going to do this view project. So yeah, remember, I'm just copying and pasting. I haven't really started styling anything. Now, because most of this decision making is logical, it's just logic and common sense most times, Now, you would now have to look at your design and you'll be like, okay, the first thing you want to note is the fact that budget friendly renewable is on one line and solar energy, because of all of these elements are inside a div block called hero content. You want to be able, that div block, you want to be able to create a width. You want to be able to create a width that will accommodate it exactly how it is on your design. Now, I want to say, what I want to do, because of how this entire element is spanning from left to right, it doesn't make sense. You want it to have budget friendly renewable on one line. Then solar energy solution should go down. What I'm going to do, it is very bad that you will do like this. Do not hit enter like this. Don't do this. I know most people want to hit enter and carry all of this to the next line. Nope. It is very bad. It is not good. It is not advisable. Or you want to maybe now do like this. Nope, don't do that. It's not good. It's not even advisable. What you want to do, because we have a div block that is called hero content, I'm going to go to the hero content that houses everybody, and I'm going to give this a defined width. Because all of these elements are inside hero content, I'm going to go to the parents and I'll say, hey, hero content, I don't like how all your children are spanning from left to right. I want you to have a defined width, so that it will break this heading by default, because this heading is a child to the hero content. This paragraph is a child to this hero content. Also, this button wrapper is a child to this hero content. All of these three are inside hero content. So you tell hero content, hey, I want to give you a width. How would you now know the width? You will go back to your design and you will just say, okay, because of how it is being designed here, we have a frame. Mind you, this frame is what is housing the heading. So you want the image, you want the width of the hero content to have maybe exactly the width of this frame, you will now come here and say, okay, the width is, where do we have width? It's supposed to be somewhere, I don't know, which is very weird. I'm supposed to like see it somewhere. Okay, let's assume this is 797. I'm going to use this. See this number here, 797. So give or take 800 pixels. Give or take 800 pixels. So I will go back to my Webflow and say, hey, hero content, I want you to be 800 pixels. You see, I put 800. But because we are not working with pixels, we are working with what? Rems. I will have to convert the pixels to rems. And how do I do that? I would say 800 divided by 16. So we have 800 here divided by 16. I'll now type REM. If I hit enter, it has converted that 800 to rems, which is 50 rems. Notice how it has by default broken down this heading to the next line. What is happening is this hero content has a defined width of 50 rems, and by default all the children has to conform to that 50 rem. So if the 50 rem is supposed to be like this, whatever that is inside as the children will have to either wrap to the next line because the parent has squeezed itself to 50 rem. That's what's happening. So I am not, it's very simple. It's just logic, simple logic. Now that first part is done. Let's assume it's done. Now, the next thing I want to do, I'll go back to my design and look at it again and be like, okay, maybe that part is done. However, notice how all of these guys they are all in the middle. They are all in the middle. They are not, starting from left align, but it's in the middle. I'll now ask myself, okay, what do I do to place all these children to be in the middle? I will now go back to my Webflow again. I'll be like, oh, look at my own is not at the middle. Instead, it's starting to the left. How do I go about this? Now, I will now still on my hero content, which is the parent. I am giving the order to the parents. It has nothing to do with the children, which is the heading and the paragraph and this. Still go back to the hero content div block and I'll say, Omo, I want you to be in the middle, please. I don't need you to start from the left. And I will just be like, okay, what do I do? Different people can handle it in different ways. But how I'm going to do it is I will come and set the margin, left and right margin. I will tell it to be auto, left margin auto, right margin auto. Or you can just come here and click this icon here. What this icon does is it centers elements horizontally, requires fixed width. It centers elements to the center, basically, as long as we have a fixed width. So if I click on this guy, mind you, I am on this hero content, I will just say, okay, this is the guy that will help me center the hero content to be at the middle. And I'll click, boom. See, it is now in the middle. What that is doing, it is just giving a margin auto to the left, margin, or it's just setting a margin auto left and right. If you're confused at any point, please, you can ask question. Now, I'll be like, okay, nice. We're able to also do that part. What do I want to do next? I'll ask myself. I'll be like, okay, now all these guys are also aligned center. Aside from setting it to be at the middle, they are also aligned center, but my Webflow is aligned to the left. This heading is aligned to the left. You notice how the heading and the paragraph and the buttons are aligned to the left, see, which is not the case for our design. So what do? I'll still be on the parent, still on the parent. I will say, hey, please, I need you to align all your children to the center or middle. Now, this time around, I am talking align typography. Under typography, I want to align the children to the middle. So I'll just click on center. Boom. See, before it was like this, right now it's like this. You see the difference? It's now aligned to the middle. So this is how I think. This is how I process design. And I take it one problem at a time, not problem per se, one decision at a time. It helps me just solve them. If I don't solve one, I'm not going to the next. Right now, I've solved this one. And I'll go back and look at my design again. I'll be like, okay, great. Now, all of these elements have reasonable amount of spacing. From this heading, notice how there is a reasonable amount of space before you get the paragraph, a reasonable amount of space before you get the button. I'll be like, okay, let's do that. Go back to my Webflow, still on the parent, still on the hero content. I'll be like, yo, hero content, please, I need you to make your children have a reasonable amount of space. Mind you, I am not disturbing the heading. The heading has no styling. The paragraph has no styling. Everything I'm doing is on this div block called hero content. I'll be like, okay, great. What do? I will come to the display flexbox. Display flexbox, and I'll click on this flexbox. What flexbox does, it aligns or it sets the children elements either horizontally or vertically. Right now, the direction is horizontal. That is why you are seeing all of this horizontally. But what I want to click on vertical. See, it is now vertically aligned, but there's no difference from how it was before. But then the difference is I will go to the rows, and I'll start adding spacing. This is gap. Gap means create gap to the column or to the row. If you say column, that means you are creating gap vertically. If you say row, that means you are creating gap vertically. If you say column, you are creating gap horizontally. If you say row, you are creating gap vertically. So what we want is we have aligned our elements to be in a vertical order. Now we want to add spacing inside of each element. So I'll come to the row and I'll start increasing the numbers of pixels for the row. See, just start increasing it. Maybe I want it to be maybe 36. See, this is how it is, which is nice, which is looking good. However, we are not using pixels. We are using rems. How do we convert 36 to rems? 36 divided by 16 rem. So I'm just going to do 36 divided by 16 rem. Enter. Let's just give the round figure of 2 rem. 2 rem. So I added 2 rem of gap. That's what I did. So now we have this heading with, we have 2 rem of gap. We have our paragraph, 2 rem of gap. We have our 2 buttons. See, we are almost close. Now we go back to our design and we look at it. I'll be like, we are almost there. Okay. How do we make budget friendly have this orange color? How do we do that? I'll be like, okay, that's the next task I want to tackle. I'll go back to my design and I'll be like, okay, I need to make budget friendly orange color. Now I am no longer on hero content. I'll go to the heading, and I will double click and I'll double click and I'll highlight budget friendly. I'll highlight it. It's very easy to do. And I'll come here and click on wrap with span. Wrap with span means you want to be able to format just budget friendly alone. You want to be able to format budget friendly alone. That's why you have to wrap it. Very important. So I'll click on wrap with span. So now there's a text span around budget friendly, which will allow me edit budget friendly alone. So whatever styling I add at this point to my text span is going to affect just budget friendly. However, I want to give this text span a unique class, because if I add any styling, it is going to just create a random class name for me. Let's try it out. All right, so remind you, we have text span here selected, which is budget friendly, and I'll come to the color and I would say I want to make you red. See, if I drag it to red, it is now just red. Budget friendly is just red. Now, but watch what is happening. It created a random class name for us, because before you style anything in Webflow, you have to create a class for that particular styling you're doing. If not, Webflow is going to create a default class name for you. That's how it works. Webflow is going to create a default class name for you. There is nothing wrong with that. However, you need to be able to be intentional about your class namings. You need to have unique class namings. You need to be aware of your class names. So instead of text span, I don't want to use Webflow's default class name, because I may want to use this feature in another page, and I don't want to start thinking, what did Webflow use in naming this for me? I just want to give it my own unique custom class name. So instead of text span, I would just say budget friendly color, text color, or whatever. I would just be smart about it, Probably I'll just say color orange. Yep, I'll just probably call it color orange, maybe, I guess. Color orange text, or just whatever you want to call it. So I would call it color orange text. Why? Because maybe in another page, I want to still add that text span effect. Let's pretend we are on another page. This is another page, and you want to make solutions color red. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight, click on wrap with span. Then I will just go and use the exact same class name I used here, color orange text. That is the class name. And I'll just say, okay, let me use that same class name for this guy. And I'll just start typing color orange. Webflow is going to populate the selector with class names that you've used before. Now, if I select this color orange text, it uses the same styling that you gave this guy here. So now these two have the same class. So whatever I do to this guy will affect this guy. Let's try it out. Let me try to change this red to an orange color. See? Everybody is changing because they all share the same class. All right. So if you have any question at any point, like I said, please draw my attention and we'll see how it goes. All right, let us use the exact color that we have here. So I'm just going to come here and copy this color code here, copy this number. I'll now come here and I would paste it here and I'll hit enter. Now we have the exact color, but I don't want it to be on solutions. So I'll just highlight it and I'll say clear formatting, clear it out. Boom. It's back to black. So budget friendly is having its different class name, and the entire heading is not having any class name. But inside of the heading, we now have that particular text span, which is color orange text. Okay, see, we are almost getting our hero section. Now, what I want to do next, we'll go back to our design and have a look at it and say, okay, now what do we want to do next? This build a healthy environment is on 2 lines, not 1 line. Our own is on 1 line. Now, if you're not design conscious, like some people, you probably, as a developer, I would most likely leave it like this. And I would think that is fine, like this. This is not okay. Because you are a developer, you do not understand the importance of layouts and structure. What you are giving to your client is this, but what the client is giving you is this on 2 lines. Why are you giving him a website with just 1 line of text? It doesn't work like that. And you would see this little back and forth. This is not what I built. This is how it's supposed to be. Make it like this. And you as a developer will just be frustrating. It doesn't really matter. That's how, all of that. But if you if you're design conscious, you want to do exactly what you have on your Figma. Exactly. Now, what I'm going to do, this is having a size of 28, I believe, 28 pixels. And we are having a default paragraph of 1 rem. From our client first style guide, there is a class name that handles making text bigger. But we may not go through that route. What I will do in this case, this boils down to decision making. For you as a developer, how are you going to approach this? How are you going to solve? How are you going to? Now, I may want to use text size large because of client first tells us that you can use text size large if you want to make your paragraph text have this particular amount. Now let's do that. If I start typing text size, see, it brings out text size large, text size medium, text size regular, text size small, text size tiny. And our design is saying that paragraph is 28 pixels. If I come here and say, oh, let's make it text size large, boom, see how large it is on 2 lines. It's going to be on 2 lines because the parent is having a particular amount of width. So once it hits the wall of the parent, it wraps to the next line. So no matter what happens, the element inside will never go beyond 50 rems. So now we have this as text size large. Ooh, looking big. But text size large is set to 2 rems, and 2 rems is about 32 pixels worth of size. So now, does text size large work? It doesn't work because our design is telling us this is not 2 rems. This is 28 pixels, which is less than 2 rems. So do I want to use text size large in this case? Nope. You might do it like this as a developer, and you pass it on to the designer, to the client. Let's publish, and let me show you guys something. You might pass it on to the client, and the client will look at your design or your developed website. This is the real live link. And the client will be like, there's something wrong about this font. I feel it's too big, because his design is telling you 28 and you are giving him 32. He will now go and inspect what you have done like this. He wants to be sure of the font size you're using. And he will do like this. And he will say, oh, this guy is using size font. See, text size large, size font, 2 rems. And he will be like, what the hell? Why are you, this is 2 rems, which is equivalent of 32 pixels. What I give you is 28 pixels. Why are you using 2 rems? That is a client that knows what's up. Some clients can be very thorough. They want you to use word for word, A for A, B for B. Trust me, I've worked with clients that knows their onions, and it will be frustrating for you. Let me just be giving you guys these tips. So what I'm going to do, I do not want to use text size large. I want to create a custom class for this hero paragraph. Now, what I want to call it, I want to click on this paragraph and I want to say, let me style you in a customized way so that it is particular to this hero section. And I'm just going to call it hero text. See? And I'll call it hero text. See? I give it a class name, hero text. So I created a unique class name for it called hero text. And now I can now give it 28 pixels worth of size. I would say 28 divided by 16 rem. Boom. It will give me 1.75. So 1.75 is the... All right, Sheena, shoot.
I'm just wondering if you named it a class of like text like dash size, like 24 pixels. Is that crazy? Because I haven't seen that as like same 24 pixels, but I feel like it'd be really easy for me if I kept looking for 24, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, perfect.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. You can do that instead of calling it hero text. Like I said, this is custom to you as a developer. You don't have to name it hero text. You can say, okay, since it is a 24 pixel font size, you can just say text hero text 24 px, or you can say text size 24 px. It can be anything, so that if you say text size 24 px, it's even better, because you can use this class name some other time. Let's assume you bring in a paragraph again in your page. Let's say our design has somewhere there is a 24 pixel paragraph size. You might easily just call it, because you have it here done already, you can easily remember and say, oh, let's just style it. Instead of coming here to give it a 24 pixel style again from scratch, having to go through a weird class name that WEBFLOW is going to add, just reuse the class that you've created before and say, oh, okay, we have a text size 24. We have a text size 24, this one, text size 24, boom. And it will convert it to 24 pixel, exactly how it is here. But where some little misunderstanding with what people do a lot. If you say text size 24 pixels, do not let it stop at that. The job of text size 24 pixel is to add 24 pixel size. Do not go and give it a color red. Don't do that, because you are breaking the rules and regulation of client first, of web design, of whatever. Because whoever is looking at it is reading text size 24 pixels. Full stop. That means the styling of that text size 24 should just be the size. He doesn't, no color, no any other styling should be added onto this, because of the nature of what you are saying. You are saying the job of this class name is to just give a size of 24 pixels. So why am I adding a red color on it? Ask your question.
All
right.
My question is, if you are giving it 24 pixels, isn't that kind of restrictive when you go to say mobile view, whereby in most cases the paragraph is supposed to be of small size?
Yep.
So if you're giving it that 24 pixels as a name, wouldn't that change when we get to mobile?
Okay, great. On mobile view, we have mobile view here. Yep, we have this problem of this. Because of what we have done so far, we have this weird problem of an overflow, which is very weird. You go to a smaller screen and you'll be like, damn, how is my design looking this horrible? Ooh, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, oops, what have I done? Yeah, we would get to that part in a bit, but I can assure you that the problem, why this is having an overflow, is not because of your text size. This is having an overflow because of this guy. Remember this hero section that we gave? Remember this hero section that we restricted to 50 rems? Remember that guy? This hero content that we gave 50 rem. It is 50 rem. It's looking good on desktop. But because 50 rem is so large, 50 rem is so big, it will be very big, like to be very stretched on tablets. 50 rem spans from here to here, but tablet view is from here to here. But because from your desktop view you already set a width of 50 rem. Now we are having this extra because of the div block is saying, yo, you set me to 50 rem. That is why I'm having this extra. So we're having this problem of overflow. When you go to mobile, it's saying, yo, you set me to 50 rem, which is this guy. It's still on 50 rem. You set me to 50 rem. That is why I'm having this weird, plenty other parts. So we have this overflow, which is very bad. Now, if you go to a smaller mobile, because of we set it to 50 rem, see how we are having this weird overflow, whereas mobile view is just from here to here. So the easier way to solve that problem is when you go to your tablet view, that width on your hero content, that width which you set to 50 rem, you want to make it auto. Auto means just do your thing. Just don't have any width. Let the content or let the element inside of you define your width. So I'm just going to come here and say, from my tablet view, instead of 50 rem, I want you to be auto. And boom, it's perfect. See, no more overflow. It is now being responsible, flowing from here to here. If I go to mobile, there is no more overflow. It's starting from here to here because the width is gotten from the content that is inside. If I click on the smallest of screen, no more overflow. Instead, by default, it's going to be breaking or be wrapping and, create space for you. Like you don't have issue with overflow. So at this point, it is now a responsive design. See how responsive it is. Across every screen. Very responsive. So that 24 pixel size thing doesn't really, matter like that because it is perfect. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Emeka?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. If anyone has a question. Now on our desktop view, we still have our 50 rem, but from tablet view, auto. Mobile view, auto. This mobile, auto. So we are fine. So let's go. So what we want to do, as I was explaining earlier, on this guy, let's not add a red color, please. Just leave it at this. And boom, that's it. We are here. And now, since we call this guy, but I'll probably not want to call this text size 24, or I'll just call it text size 24. It doesn't really matter. Now we have 1.75, which is equivalent of 24 pixels. And we've solved that problem. Going back to our design here. What else do we need to do? The button. Contact us button. Mind you, we already styled our button in the client first. So I just need to call this button that class name that we used in styling our button in the style guide. Just say button. Because we already styled our button from the client first style guide, once I call it button, it changes to that which we've used in styling the button. And what else do we have? Okay, the button is having black text and not white text. So I'll just come here to the color and I'll say you have to be black text. I'm sorry, not white text. Now we have our second button here where we have a problem because this button is having view project and a play button here. We cannot use WEBFLOW's native button to achieve this. So what I will need to do is very simple. I will just click on home and I'll go to my style guide and I'll scroll over to button. Because of the style guide has this button is icon. Button is icon. I'm just going to copy this button. This button is icon means you can embed a button text. You can embed a text and an icon inside of it. However, this is not WEBFLOW's native button. This was created using a div block or a link block. Inside of it, you now have a text block which handles the button text and the icon which handles the icon. So, yep, I'm just going to copy this button here. I'm going to copy it from here and I'm going to go back to my home, and I'm just going to paste it inside of here, and I'm just going to delete this former one, and I'm just going to look how it's looking very weird, and I'm going to come to the parent, which is this button wrapper. These two buttons are inside a button wrapper that I called button wrapper myself. Now, because I want it to be horizontally aligned like this, not vertically aligned. I want it to be horizontally aligned. I'll just go here and tell the parents, hey, I want your two children to be horizontally aligned. So I'm just going to click on this display flexbox. You see how they are both horizontally aligned. And I'm just going to say, I want you guys to be justified at the center. It is now at the center, both of them. And I'll say, hey, I want you guys to have a gap at the middle. Because from here, our design, we have this gap, maybe 24. See? 24 space in here. That is when I'll make use of the column, not the row, but the column. The column handles horizontal gap, the row handles vertical. And I'll just say 24, boom, we have a 24 spacing inside, and divided by 16 rem. Because we are using rem, that's 1.5. 1.5 to the 1.5 column, and I'm just going to call this guy what? View project. I'm going to call it view project. View project. And I'm going to do what again? And I'm going to see we have this play button thing here. I'm going to try to download it. It's a play icon. I'll go to export, send it as an SVG file, and I'll download it. And I'll come here to my WebFlow and I'll click on this. Now, client first is using an embed element to create their icon, but I don't want to do that. I want to use an image for my embed, image. I'm just going to delete their pattern of, using embed, because this is the code that handles that icon. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to add an image. Now, see, we have an image inside of our button. Like I said, this button was created from scratch. It wasn't WebFlow's native button, because WebFlow native button cannot add an image to it. So I'm going to go to image, come here and click on choose image, and I'm going to get that image I downloaded from Figma, and I'm going to bring it inside, download it, and I'm going to delete this their own. I don't need it. So this is what we have. See, this is what we have at this point. Now, going back to our design, this is just plain white outline. The text is white, the play button is white, the outline is white. What do I need to do? I'll go back to my WebFlow and I'll say, hey, you are just white outline. You are not orange like this guy. Because we have button is icon. Button with a combo class of is icon. You see how client first make use of class naming. It is a button, but it is a button with icon. Who is joining by this time? That's very weird. Hello, Ola, how are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm very fine.
Yeah, you are 1 hour late. What happened?
I'm just jumping down.
Oh, sorry about that. It's fine. We'll just forge ahead. You'll probably watch the video after now and you'll catch up. All right?
Sure, that's fine. That's fine. That's good.
All right, no problem then. So we're still dealing on how to approach projects and all right. So yeah, we have button. This button is the same class name as this guy, button, but this one has a combo class, is icon, because it is not just an ordinary button. It is a button that has icon that was created from scratch. So we have to add, that's why it is having a combo class or a secondary class, is icon. That means you can style this button. You can style this button without it affecting this one, because this one is having a combo class. That means whatever I do to this button style will not affect this one. But whatever I do to this one will affect this one, because this one is the powerhouse. This one is having button as a class name, and this guy is also having button as a class name, which means it is borrowing all the styling from this one and more. Is icon. This one is the powerhouse. Whatever I do to this one, watch, it will affect the second one. See, it's affecting the second guy. That's what you need to know. But whatever I will do to this one will not affect the first one. So yeah, just have that in the back of your mind. So I'm going to tell this second one, is icon, do not have any color. So I'm going to reduce the opacity. I'm going to make it nothing, and I'm going to add a border color of white, pure white. But because of visibility, let us be seeing what we are doing. I'm going to make it a little bit grayish like this, and I'm also going to make the text view project white. So I'm going to go to the typography also, and I'll say, hey, the text, I want you to be white. But for the sake of visibility, let's be seeing what we are doing. I'll make it a little bit gray. The only thing that is holding us is we have not added the background. So that if I add this background, we'll start seeing everything. Okay, who has a question should ask?
Yeah, hi David. So it's on the button now. So let's say like the primary button that doesn't have a combo. That's the main button. How can I create like a combo? Let's say if I want to use like a secondary button, but not with icon, just like maybe the other one, but not the one with the icon.
Come again.
Now, like how do I create a combo class? A combo class generally.
Okay. So how you can create a combo class generally is this. Let's just bring in a button, for instance. So we have this button here, right? You have this button here, right? If you call this button a button class, and boom, it's like this, yeah? Just like this one here, all right? Now to create a combo class is just to come again and say, hey, I want to make you a combo class. I can say is big. That means I want you to be bigger. It's just you customizing how you want to name it. You know, you want to make it is big means maybe I want the text size to be like 2 rem or whatever. So this is big. Do you get?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, great. So that's how you do create a combo class. All right, so let me just delete this guy here. So now what we want to do next is we want to add the background image. This background image, let's go and download it. See, I have clicked on it here, and I'll just come to export and I'll preview. Oops, this background image is having everything plus the text, which I don't want. So how do I get just the background, which is a struggle? This is going to be a struggle. So let me just try to get only the background image. This is crazy. Who has an idea of how I can just get the background image?
Most times I do two things. Either I duplicate it to have access for now, and copy it to another file. That's just zero session. That's what I did now. Copy it, just
okay. Now paste. If you have done it, paste just the image on this. Oh, you can't. You can't.
No, I cannot. I don't have access to that place. So I think you just have to duplicate the file. I think it's easy to duplicate.
Oh, I know, right? But that would be like too much. Oh shit! I hate some stress like that. Okay, let me see what I can do.
You should use it as a feed instead of.
Yes. Yeah, and she's not here, so I have copied it. Let me see. I have to go create a new file, which is crazy. So yeah, let's just do it. I mean, it just takes some few seconds. So I have a new design file open here, and I'm going to just paste that guy. So I've pasted it here, and I'm just going to delete all of this. I don't want it. I don't want all of you. So yep, we have just the image. So I'm just going to export it maybe as a PNG 1.5. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to export it. So yep, I have downloaded the background. So I'll go back to my Webflow, and what I'm going to do is very simple. I will go to my hero section. This hero section is the one housing everybody about the hero section. So this is the overall parent hero section. And I'm going to go to it, and I'll scroll to background, because if I give this hero section a color, a background color, see what's happening. I'm giving it a background color, but that's not what I want to do. I want to give it an image background. So I'll click on this plus sign here, and I'll come to choose image, and I'll come and drag that guy that I've downloaded, and it's going to load into my assets, and boom, it has added. But that is not all. And I'm going to click on the size. I'll make it cover, and I'm going to position it to the middle. And that is all. That's the last thing. So if we preview, we have this. However, from our design, because we have added an image, if we go and back and look at our design, we would see that the text is white. All the text are white and not black. So now let's go and do that. So I'll just come here and click on this heading. Because I want to make the text white. I'm going to click on this hero content. Who happens to be the parent to this heading and text and button. Heading, text, and button. I'm going to tell the parent. Okay, who has a question? Should.
Can I ask you where can we get the image to upload it?
Okay, for the image,
Because I'm trying to pull it apart on Figma and I can't.
Okay. You can. What did I just do now? You can copy just the hero section from here.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can copy it, Control C, and you can come to this file here and create a new design file. And it's going to create a new design file for you. And you just have to delete all of those, body content. You don't need it. And you're going to have a blank, a blank image.
I got it. Thank you.
All right, cool. So, yep. So where am I? Okay, good. Now, two things. You can do this color thing in different ways. You can go tell the parent, hey, parent, because you know why you can do that? Because this guy is still a virgin. It doesn't have any styling attached to it. It is not corrupted with different styles. The heading is still a virgin. This text size 24 is a custom class, yes, but it doesn't have any unique color attached to it. It is just the size that was tampered. And because of that, you can go and tell the parent, this is how I would do it. People can do it in different ways. You can go and tell the parent that, hey, I want you to have color white. Because if you give the parents color white, it will cascade down to the children. What you're doing to this div block is you're telling this div block, I'm going to give you color white, which means any of your children that is inside of you should have color white. So I'll go to color and I'll drag it to white. Boom. Just by affecting the div block. I'm doing it on hero content. I'm not weirdly doing it on the heading. This is what I see most people would do. They want to go and do it on the heading. Don't. Maybe you want to, I don't know, but I wouldn't do that. Or they want to go to this style text size 24 and also add a color. I probably will not do that. Because the goal for me is I want to be as classless as possible. I want to be able to give my elements less classes. So I don't want just random classes. Why would I want to just give this guy a color white? Because if I do color white by on its own, it's going to add heading 2, which is very weird. So by default, this guy is called heading 2 for reason best known to Webflow. You don't want that. Just take it out. Let the styling come from the div block. That is what I will do. Either this, let's go back. This is the default, yeah? Or there is a unique styling from client first that handles white text. It is called text color white. So if I come to this heading and say, hey, let me give you a special styling from client first, and I'll go text color. You see, it has brought out text color black, text color gray, text color white. If I say text color white, boom, we have a white stuff. If I still come to this guy, because we have a text size 24 already, I probably will not know what to do. Or I may just want to cheat and just say, hey, let's make you white. This is a cheat. It's a cheat. It's not bad, but I probably will not do this. So yeah, the best thing to do is to give hero content this div block of color white. It will cascade down to the children. Boom. And that's it. On to the next. So yeah, this is where we are. This is where we are at. But this guy is aligned to the top. All of this is at the top. Why not be at the middle? Because our design is saying all these guys are at the middle. It's very simple. I'm just going to do one thing because it's at the top. I will go to section hero. Section hero. I will go there and say, hey, I want you to please place all your children, because this is the highest of the highs. This is like the toppest of the top parents. Section hero is the parent of all parents that is housing everybody. So I would say, hey, bro, align all of, because every other person is just from here to here. So they are not utilizing here, making this to be at the center. Because if you look at, see how the blue line is not really at the center, instead it's from the top. So I'll say, hey, bro, please, can you just try to make all your guys be at the center? And I'll just say, okay, very simple. Let's go and fix the display flexbox and align center, boom, and justify middle, boom. See, that's the power of flexbox. That's the power of flex. If I say, hey, align end, align top, align middle, justify left, justify right, right, left, right, middle, boom. Hero section is done. Perfectly done. Perfectly executed. Well utilized. Very responsive. Even without doing too much on the mobile. By default, it is you are not even scared of how it's going to look like on mobile, because you know you've done a good job on the desktop view, so you have nothing to be scared when it comes to mobile view. You don't have to like do too much to get it perfect. The only thing I want to worry about myself for the mobile is this button that is vertically stacked. What you want to do, you want to probably come to this mobile landscape and say, hey, buttons, I do not want you to be horizontally stacked, because you're already horizontally stacked on the desktop and on the tablet. So for the sake of mobile, I want you to be vertically stacked. So I am on the button wrapper and I'm changing the direction to vertical. Boom. It's on vertical, but I don't want you to be stretched. I want you to align middle. Boom. And I want you to have, spacing in between. 1.5 rem. Boom. And that's all. So you see how perfect it is. See? Well responsive without even doing too much. Without doing too much. So when you publish like this, and I'm done publishing the website, and look at how it is. This is the former one I published. So I just need to reload my screen. Boom. We have this perfect hero section. If I want to see how it is on mobile, I'm going to activate it, and let's have it on mobile. Let's have it perfect. I didn't even have to do too much. I didn't have to be scared on how it's going to look like on mobile, because you have a solid foundation. You have client first, and you did a good job, and you solved each problem one at a time. You're not overwhelmed with how, lots of stuff. So yeah, So you did, because sometimes mobile view can be a burden for people. Mobile view can be frustrating. Mobile view can be a lot of work, but if you are confident there's a way you build, you won't, I don't even, in fact, mobile view is the least of my problem on any project. Once you do a good job, inside of you, you will know that, I did a good job. Mobile view will not stress you. See, I didn't have, because before, if I did not do a good job, I'll have to go on mobile screen and tweak things, set this one, do that one. But if you do a good job, just 1-2 touches, mobile is perfect. Do you have any questions so far? What do you guys think so far? Let's have it. Who is going first? I've been talking for a long time.
I'll go. I'm really happy. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really well done.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shina. So who else is having any issue? Olusegun, Smart, Emeka, Ayopami, Bolaji.
Yeah, I think for my own, honestly, you've really addressed it, and I commented in the chat. Like, I was only having issue like trying to understand this Flexbox thing on the WhatsApp chat, and the way you broke it down, like, it's just like, this magic, and we're like, okay, this is like, this is what this is like. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, who else have like an issue or a comment, or at least have learned a thing or two? Smart.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
So I was following Porto, right? I was following if you do this, I do that. So, but I had a problem. I don't know if it's from my own end. The first one, the H1, right? I don't know. I didn't, the H1, I didn't give it any class. So it's kind of, I just, from the body test, I used normal, from the body, I used normal H1, right? So when I did my own, it was kind of bold. So I don't know if you can help me select this thing. Let me know if you added any extra class. I want to know. That's just what I'm stuck at.
All right, cool. Remember, like I said from last time, styling the style guide can be tricky. Let's go to the style guide. Can be very tricky. If you're styling the headings for your style guide, if you're styling the heading H1, H2, now I am on H1, you do not want to just say, hey, from our design, H1 is like this. This is our H1. Is having a weight of 500. 500 is not bold, 500. And we are on our style guide and H1. Now, is having medium, 500. Maybe what you did is you just directly switch it to maybe bold or maybe whatever. Let's assume light.
I just saw it.
Exactly. You're not supposed to. Because if you do this, it's going to create a weird class name for you. So you do not want to do that to yourself. So take this out. Like I always say, you want to click on all H1 headings. What you're saying is, hey, heading H1, every H1 on this project, every. No, not by adding a weird class for me, nothing. Every H1 on this heading, on this project, I want you to be medium, light, whatever. Let's assume it's bold. If I say bold, it is still on all H1 heading. If I go out and come back, the default H1 is bold without any weird class name. That's what you want to be intentional about. Always come to all H1 or all H2 headings and affect every H1 on this project. I want you to be medium and I want you to be this size or that size. If you want an extra text height, you might want to come and increase this 1.1 to 1.2, 1.3, 1.9. See? Text height. That means the space in between. Let's make it maybe 1.3, 1.4. 1.4 is perfect because from the design, you will notice how we have a reasonable amount of text height, So I make it 1.4. We have a reasonable amount of spacing in between. So if we go back to our home, it's going to automatically follow suit because you have said on the style guide, anything H1, I want you to be 1.4. So if you click and you come and check, See the height, text height is now 1.4 by default because you said all H1 headings without having a weird class, because we are trying to stay classless as possible. If I publish now and go to the live project and I just reload, boom, see, we have spacing, which is very good. This is good design, perfectly done. All right, questions, opinions? All right, Bolaji. Bolaji, I can hear you. Nobody can. Can anyone hear Bolaji? Bolaji, I can't hear you. It's very weird. I can't hear anybody. I can't even hear Again Smart. I cannot hear Shina. Something is wrong somewhere. Why can't I hear anybody at all? Wow. If you can check your tab. Okay. Oh, I saw what happened there. Crazy shit. Sorry. Bolaji, you can go again.
Okay, so since I've been studying, since the last class, I've been trying to study the documentation of client forms, and I enjoyed it. Reading is not my problem, and watching video is not my problem. So, but my question is that, is there any specific parts of client forms documentation that
I stopped hearing everybody again. Wow.
Hey, I'm sorry, I lost my connection.
Okay, go ahead.
So I said, is there some like part of client force documentation requires like kind of enough concentration while studying, or everything requires enough concentration?
Okay. The thing is that as you build projects, maybe what's it called? Maybe personal projects. As you build projects, you would learn on the go. I probably may not advise you to just download the whole documentation in your head. I did not do that. I was learning as I was building, because as you're building, you are understanding it more compared to just downloading the whole documentation into your head. So once you get a project and you're working on it, you can even leverage on some resources on YouTube. I also have some content on YouTube. I built Tesla's website. Olusegun, your mic is on, and yeah. So I built I even built Tesla's website using client first from scratch. So as you are building projects from scratch, at first it can be frustrating and overwhelming, but just be doing it. Just start. Before you know, you've done a full-blown landing page. Ooh, okay, or a full-blown hero section, and you are like, whoa, nice. If you follow this video again, if you watch it again, you would see how easy it is. And if you can get to this point that I am now, trust me, kudos, because you use client first from scratch, and it's really nice to see. So yeah, the best way to, I wouldn't say focus on this or focus on that, but how it works is because every project are different. Some projects you might need to customize the style guide more. Other projects, you may not even need to customize too much, just maybe headings and buttons, and that's all. Other projects, you might need to do too much. Others, you don't need to do too much. So yeah, it depends on the project. Before you build 5 landing pages, trust me, you've had a hold of client first. Because for me, I did not even go through all the client first documentation, but I don't need to. At this point, I don't need to. But if there's any part I need to, because most time they do update their documentation and the style guide. Before they had version 1, now they are on version 2. So you have to also update your OS in your head with their documentation on version 2, because they might say, okay, today we are no longer using padding global, we have changed the name to something else, this is why. Or tomorrow we are no longer using container large, we've changed the name to something else. That was what they did from their version 1 to version 2. They changed a whole lot, so you need to be aware. But for me, I just watch the videos. I do more with videos. Either I watch a summary, or I watch someone build from scratch using client first version 2, or I just watch what the updates that was made, all of that. I also watch documentation. So yeah, that's that about that. So yep, I hope I was able to do justice to that hero section. And the next thing is to build out this section here, this one, what we offer. So this what we offer is going to be a different section, and I'm just going to rush that now. So what I want to do, we are done with hero section, boom, and I'm going to come to the main wrapper. I'm going to bring in another div block, and I'm going to call this one section underscore what we offer, boom. And I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to call it section because it is a section. And I'll go back here, and I'm going to follow my structure, which I'll bring in a div block, and I'll call this div block padding global. Call it padding global, and I'm going to bring in another div block, and I'll call this div block container large. And we have container large, and I'm going to bring in another div block, and I'll call this div block, padding section large, and I'll call it padding section large. And I'm going to, so now this is what we've done again. Notice there's a white background thing here. So we have created another section that we called section what we offer, padding global, container large, padding section large. Core structure is done. I'm going to bring in another div block, and I'm going to call this div block offer, just say offer components. So that would be the components that will handle everything here. But then this is black, background here is black. So I'm just going to go tell the section what we offer. Hey, everything about you is black. So I'm just going to come here and make it black, made it black, and back to the offer components. So as you can see, our offer component is this and this empty div block, and I'm going to put in another div block, and I'm going to say offer content. So the content, offer underscore content. So the content that is going to be, everywhere. So we have this as the left content, all of this as the right content. So we have two contents inside offer content, left content, right content. I'm going to say, okay, inside of offer content, I'm going to bring in another div block. I'm going to call it offer right content. Offer right content. So inside of offer content, let's say offer content wrapper. Let's call it a wrapper. So it's the wrapper wrapping everything. We have the offer right content. What is inside offer right content is a heading called what we offer. So I'm going to say, okay, inside of offer right content is a what? A heading, maybe a H2, and because the H2 is black, I'm going to go to the parent, which is offer right content. I'm going to say, hey bro, I want you to please be white. So your child will be white as well. Now we are on that, and I'm just going to call it what we offer. Boom, that's all what we offer. Offer content wrapper, offer right content. Inside of it is what we offer. Now inside of offer content wrapper, we're going to put in another div block that will be called offer left content. I've made a mistake. This is supposed to be here. This is the left, this is the right. All right, cool. Sorry. All right, great. Now, even though this is left and right, we have left and right, two contents, but they are stacked vertically. What I will do, I will go to the parents. Now, before I do that, inside of this right content, what is inside? We have this 1, 2, and 3. So inside of this right, we have 3 items inside of the right content, 1 item on the left content. So let's just assume we have just a text block inside of the right content. Let's assume we have just a text block inside. We have a text block inside. Text block. Let's paste that thing. Now we have the offer left and offer right, but it is called left and right, but they are all stacked vertically. I will just go to the parents and say, hey, your children are stacked vertically I want them to be stacked horizontally because our design here says stack the left and the right horizontally. This is one. This is another one. They are horizontally aligned. So you go to the parents, you are the parent, these two are the children. And you say, hey, parents, please flexbox. And please, you see now, I've done flexbox. They are now horizontal. But still on still, I don't want you to be close to each other. I want you guys to be justified from space between start to end. Boom. That means the first one is far left. Second one is far right. First one is far left. Second one is far right. We are almost there. And I want you to align in the middle. Yup. So yup. Now, what I want to sort out is what we offer is 32 pixels, which is 2 rems. And what we have here is 2 rems, 32 pixels. But our own is bold. Ours is bold, but the design is not bold. It's 500 of width. So I'm just going to come here and say, hey, H3, I wonder why you are bold. You're not supposed to be bold. So I'm going to come here and say all H3 headings. I can do this from the style guide. I can do this from the design. I don't want you to be bold. I want you to be medium. So yep, we have that now as medium. But I'll also go to the parent, which is offer left content, and say, bro, what is on one line, we offer is on another line. That means that the parents should have a defined width that is going to compress the content to not float completely. So I'm just going to say, okay, let's be smart about it. I'm going to come to offer left content and I say the width, I want you to be maybe 200 pixels. 200 pixels did not work. Maybe 150 pixels. Oh, 150 pixel almost worked. What if we do 120 pixels? Oh, nice. 120 pixel works. But we don't work with pixels. So 120 divided by 16 rem. And we have 7.5 rem. That means we have it like this. See? We are almost there. Now what I want to do next, we are done with offer left content. Let's go to offer right content. We are going to open it. We have a text block inside. You just have to be very logical. You have to be very logical. Now, inside of offer right content, we are on the right hand side now. Instead of just putting in a text block inside, we want to put in a div block first. That div block will now handle this icon and this text. So inside of the offer right, we do not want to just put in a text block. We want to put in a div block. This div block will now handle the text block and the icon. So let's put in, so inside of the div block, we're going to have an image. So now we have this image and we have this text. So let's come here and choose a random image. Let's just choose this one for now, for the sake of time. Let's just choose this one. So we have this image and this text inside of this div block. But we don't want to just leave this thing as div block. We want to call it offer right item. So it makes sense. We have the offer content wrapper, offer left content, offer right content, offer right item. Offer right content is what is handling everybody. Offer right item. It is on the right hand side, but an item. One item that houses image and text block. Now this offer right item, how it is here, it is icon at the top, text below, and it is vertically aligned and with a reasonable amount of space in the middle. We're just going to come here and say, hey, offer right item, which is the parent for these two. I want you to respect yourself, and I want you to have a flex box, and I want you to be vertical, and I want you to be aligned middle. See? And I want to give you a reasonable amount of space in between, like 1 rem. Boom. We have 1 rem, or maybe 1.5. Yeah, 1 rem is perfect. So you see, icon, text, the parent is set to flexbox, vertical, align middle, 1 rem of space in between. Now, all I need to do is very simple. I can just copy and paste offer right item into 3. Ctrl C, paste into 3. Now we have it into 3 different places, which is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. However, our own is showing vertically aligned. So what do I need to do? I'll just come to the parents and say, hey, offer right content. Why are your children vertically aligned? You're supposed to be horizontally aligned like this. I'll just say, hey, parents, you are the parents. I need you to have a flex box. And I'll click on display flex box on this parent. Hey, please align all your children vertically, horizontal. Let the display or the direction be horizontal. And they are all clustered together, joining each other. Okay, let's give you a gap of maybe 2 rem. Boom, we have 2 rem of spacing in between. But does that work? Does that work? Almost work. This is more than 2 rem. We have like a reasonable amount of space. Mind you, this one here is this is product and services. Services is under, safety is under, packages too is also under. So what you want to do is you want to say offer right item. I don't want you to flow straight up like this. I want you limit you to have a defined width so that it would not the element will not span completely. I'll just say, okay, the width for the offer right item. Mind you, what I do to one item will affect other item because they all have the same class name. So I'll just do to one and say, I want the width to be 10 rem. Oh, great. 10 rem almost works, but then maybe I feel it's too much. Let's say 8 rem. Oops, not 18, 8 rem. Boom, 8 rem is perfect. However, why is this guy not at the middle? Still on the offer right item, I'll just scroll here and say, okay, I want to align the text to the center. Boom, and it's perfectly done. So I'll just come here and copy and paste. Copy environmental safety and come here and paste it here on the second one. Come here and copy affordable packages and come here and paste it here, and we're done. See, I'll just come change the images, which is something I can always do. But then, so far, so good. This is what we have. Do we have, see how I easily created this second section? See, do we have any question at this point? Question, blocker, whatever. Do we? Have I been talking to myself for like ages?
I do.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my internet lagged me out for like I think a minute. I wanted to know how you came up with sorry, let me go back to the
Okay.
screen. Okay, so when you're trying to move the what we have offer from the product and service quality, was it the dev box the flex box you used, to differentiate, to move them apart?
This guy and
Yes.
this guy.
And the others, yes. Was it a flex box that you used to make that?
Yeah, it was a flex box. It was a flex box. It is a flex box. So we have this offer components, offer content wrap. Now this offer content wrap is having the left and the right. So this is the parent and this is the display flex box horizontal. I say justify like this. If I say like this, see how they are close to each other. Left to the left, everybody to the left, everybody at the middle. Nope. Everybody to the right. This is what happens. But everybody space in between. So the left hand side to the left completely, the right hand side to the right completely.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who has a question again?
I have a question.
All right. Shoot.
Flexbox and divbox, are they the same thing?
Flexbox?
Yes, Flexbox and divbox.
Div blocks?
Yes, divblocks, yes. Divblocks and Flexbox, are they the same thing?
No, they are not. Div block is just an empty box. This is a div block. This is just a div block. It's just an empty box. It's not doing anything. is just an empty bag. So you have, with an empty bag, you can now set this empty bag to do anything. You can now set it. Flexbox is a styling, is a CSS styling. Flexbox is a CSS styling that allows elements to be in whatever position you want it to be. I can say flexbox, I want to flex it horizontally. Maybe a div block is having 2 items inside of it. If I give this div block a flexbox style, horizontal, it's going to flex the 2 children horizontal like this. If I give this parent div block vertical, it's going to flex the 2 children vertical like this. Do you understand? So see, flexbox is a styling, is a style. It's not anything. It's not an element. Do you get the difference?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Welcome. Flexbox is a style. It's not an element. It's a way of saying everybody in this element, all the children, please, I need you to be in a flexbox horizontal position. Please, I need you to be in a flexbox vertical position. That's what it means. So yeah. Oh, I feel super duper exhausted, and I think at this point, this is we've done justice. Okay, ask.
Okay, so I think I have 2 things. One is to answer Brian's question. One is to answer my own question. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, so now this is how I understand Flexbox and div block. Let me explain it from the Figma side, right? Now, div block is your frame, right? Your frame is div block, where you can add any element inside. Flexbox is your how you want to display. Say I want to give it an auto layout. I want it to be displayed vertically or horizontally.
Yep.
That is how I understand it.
Yep.
So I think that should help. Right?
Yep.
Now, if I want to, this is the question I want to ask now from Dave. Now is this: I did follow exactly what you were teaching. Right? I was, I think I already learned Webflow, so I was rushing it. I'm currently done with the place you are now. This. What we offer. I've done that, right? The only issue I have is this. We use padding section large. And it seems like that place is big. I don't know.
Okay.
Because of, I don't know, I'm just trying to...
That's a very good question, a very, very good question. From our design, mind you, there is no much padding from this. The black space is not too much. It's almost touching this hero section. And notice we have so it's not too much. But on our design, we have like plenty space here and plenty space below. It's because we use padding section large, because we are using this guy, this padding section large. See, because padding section large is adding 7 rem to the top and 7 rem below, so it's creating lots of black space, lots of empty space. So instead of using padding section large, we can use something else, because padding section large, 7 rem is too much. We use padding section large on this first one. You do not want to now say 7 rem is too much, let me adjust it. Nope, don't do that. The job of padding section large has been utilized. Do not touch it, because if I touch it from here, it's going to affect here too. Anything I do, if I want to say, let me reduce this 7 rem, it's going to affect this guy here, because we also use that class on our hero section. Now, see, whatever I'm doing here, see how it's also affecting our hero section. I'm making it more, making it less, making it more. So you do not want that. What you want to do, we still have other kinds of padding section that you want to use. Large is too large for that section, what we offer. So I'll just come here and delete this padding section large. Boom, it's out. Now we no longer have any padding up and bottom. Instead, I want to say padding section. You can use medium, you can use small. So I'm going to use small, padding section small. So it has added a much more smaller, reasonable amount of padding, which is much more, what we have here. Small padding, small padding. So instead of using large, utilize other ones too. Padding section small, which is very much more reasonable. See? Does that answer your question, Kenny?
Yes, that answers it.
Perfect. So you can utilize padding section small. You can even create your own custom padding section custom and give it 2 rem or 1 rem up and bottom. Yeah. Okay, Emeka, shoot.
Yeah, I want to ask, based on the design that we have, if we do not have like a padding top and bottom for the given section, do we really need to add it? Do we need to add padding section?
Okay.
If on the design there is no top and bottom padding.
That's a very beautiful question. If you do not have a padding, but I think so far every design has a padding, but if there is no padding, this section and this section, there is a padding here, this section, and this section, there's a padding in the middle, like every section should have. But if there's a case, there is no, like this section now, this contactor section doesn't have any padding. See, doesn't have any padding. Now you can do padding, don't use it, just skip it. As you are creating padding global, container large, skip it, jump straight to what you want to create, maybe the components, and move on. So it will not add any padding for you. Or you can say padding section none. You can create your own, custom class and say padding dash section dash none. None. That means it is 0 rem up, 0 rem down, 0 rem. So you can always use padding section none when you want to not add anything. Like right now, we don't have any padding. See how it's looking? It's just touching the extreme edge of your other section. Okay, who has a question? Ask. Michael, okay.
All right, well done, but like I'm really inspired.
Yeah, thank you.
Something that so for the padding section large, another thing they can also do, if you have it so repetitive in your design, you can have a combo class of remove top.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yes.
So for me, that's what I always do. I can still maintain my padding section large.
Yes.
The way I see that spaces there is very small.
Yes.
I can just say, okay, top 2M or top 3M. And if places where I need to remove this top padding entirely, I'll just remove top as additional combo class.
Yes, that's perfect. That's perfect. You see, you make use of combo class. Now we have padding section small. What if this is padding section small, but this down part doesn't have any padding? You can now say padding section small, maybe remove bottom, something like this. Maybe remove bottom and take away bottom. See, we have 3 at the top but 0 at the down. Or let's assume safe. Yeah, that's a very good use case. So you can leverage combo class and tweak it how you want to tweak it, and tweak it how you want to tweak it. So yeah, combo class is also another way to leverage that. It depends on the design. If the top is not having any padding, you can say padding section large. The combo class is remove top or 0 at the top. If it's the bottom that doesn't have any padding section large, a combo class that says remove bottom. So you just make the bottom 0. It's a combo class. It doesn't affect padding section large. Padding section large is still what it is. Do you understand? So yeah, so that there are different. There's no one way to do it. I can come and create an entire class and say padding section none 0 0. Each time I want to add 0 0, I'll use padding section none. Someone else can use padding section large, but combo class without padding and take away, it just depends on how do you want to flow with it. Does that answer your question, Emeka?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. Who has any question? Anything else at this point? Because we've exceeded our 2 hours, which is good. And I like what we've done so far. So please, guys, I need you guys to build out up to the point that I'm at and also build out more. You can try to build out the who we are section following what we've done so far. Trust me, it's only fair that you go beyond what I have done. At least build out the beyond who we are section. It's very simple. Once you tackle it one step at a time, you see how I was tackling it and I was making it very easy. That's how it is playing in my head. If I study a design, I already know all the steps that I'm going to take on every design and I follow it accordingly. One problem at a time, one task at a time. I don't look at a layout and overwhelm myself. Nah, every layout is broken down into tasks in my head. That's my superpowers. Every layout is broken into, little task. Before you know, boom, you are done with the entire layout. You'll be like, oh, okay, nice. So yeah, I want you guys to we have a class tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and hopefully before then, I would love to see what you guys have done from the hero section and what we offer section, maybe the who we are section. You know, is that a deal? Is there something we think we can achieve?
Sure, but sorry, how soon can we get the video course today?
Oh man, I don't know. Because I'll have to export the video outside of my Screen Studio. I'll export it, then I'll take it to CapCut, and I would chop out the parts that needs chopping out, but I don't think anything needs chopping out. Then I'll push it to YouTube. I have to create a thumbnail. You know how stressful it is creating a thumbnail and uploading on YouTube. And it's just, I think I'll do my best to make sure it's ready by tomorrow. I'll do my best. Yeah, I'll do my best to make it ready. I'll try to export it out from Screen Studio tonight. Hopefully by tomorrow, tonight, it will export. Then I'll just push it out on YouTube, create a thumbnail and all of that. So yeah, hopefully by tomorrow it should be ready. So I'm just going to stop the recording now because the larger the file, the more complicated it gets. So I'll stop the recording now.